Hey Nick, how's it going?
What's up, John? I am living the dream. How are you?
Doing all right. I'm a little sick, so I might be muting up quite a bit throughout, just so I don't cough all over everybody. But other than that, things are going well.
Good.
Not a lot that I can think of that I paid attention to this week. How about you? I mean, there were some obvious things that popped up, but
Hmm. Interesting. I'm curious what obvious is to you.
well, the fact that Claude code was leaked.
Oh, yeah. Is that you?
It was me. Sorry.
Okay. I
I
just turned on music and I'm like, this music has.
I thought the same thing. I was moving my stream deck and I apparently hit the button that starts playing music.
Oh, hilariously, I also set up a. I have a Stream Deck. I have one of the XL ones or whatever with the dials on it,
That's
and
what
it's
I have.
even it's got an XLR input in the back of it. It's like I can plug my
Uh,
microphone straight into it.
I don't think I have that one.
It was an extension that I bought for it and then
Oh, I see.
attached
That's
to it.
cool.
Yeah, I set that up and it was working fine. But I have a complicated setup on my desk. It like I have to because I have like a personal machine, a Mac
Yep.
Studio, and then a laptop for work, and I want to use the same setup for everything.
Mm-hmm.
I've got like a Thunderbolt KVM switch. It just can't handle what I'm sending through it.
Yep.
And adding the Stream Deck was just too much.
Oh, really?
And so my keyboard stopped working, and this was like day after my daughter broke my keyboard as an April Fool's Day joke.
It's a great joke. It was a beautiful joke.
Yeah. But yeah, it's so I ended up tearing it out for now. I have to figure this out.
I mean, I have a very similar setup, but I did change my setup because I have a personal machine that's hooked up to the monitors that does most of the things I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like going to meetings, it's got my camera set up, all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I have the work computer where I need to be doing, the day job work. So what I've actually been doing is having the MacBook Pro sitting in front of me, and then using universal control to just mouse up to the personal computer to control things. That was super flaky, like it was driving me nuts. And
Mm-hmm.
had a conversation with Claude. I captured all the trash in console logs to essentially be like, I don't know how to read this, and gave it to it. And it was like, yeah, you're connected over whatever the wireless protocol is that Apple uses, and it's flaky, etc. And then I was like, yeah, but what if I connected a Thunderbolt cable between the MacBook Pro and my Mac Studio? Would that help? And it was like, oh, absolutely. It'll set up a Thunderbolt network bridge, and then it'll go over that. And I've done that, and now it's just rock solid.
Hmm.
So now I'm work computer, but mousing. I'm using my work computer's keyboard and mouse to control this my personal computer while I'm talking to you. It's pretty sweet now that it works properly.
I might have to dig into that more with you and try and understand better and see if I
Yeah.
can replicate it because that sounds like a dream.
The Now I'm almost positive that you can go buy one of the Thunderbolt cables from Amazon. It's like $20
Uh-huh.
and it'll work just fine. I just happen to have one of the special Apple ones that's not $20. Uh and that's what I'm using. But yeah, no, I've been super happy with it now that I got that in place.
Nice. Nice. Okay, so I derailed us with that
Yeah, it's all right.
conversation. If anyone's listening, we are expecting to be talking to Chris Hiller pretty soon. He should be joining. But yeah. Okay, so the news. Well, let's save that in case Chris comes in about
Sure.
Claude Code because I want to dig into that. It's been super interesting, and there's a lot of other interesting news around that. There was a question though that I asked you last time as we kind of like left the episode, and that was about PKM. And are you still using it? Me personally, I haven't touched I haven't written a note in like 6 months. I just don't know what I want to write anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know what I want to keep. It's weird. And it's like weird to me because now more than ever these tools are popular or like effective, because like the promise of Obsidian, for example, is that it's just Markdown. What's really good at Markdown today?
Obsidian.
Claude.
Sure. Claude's good at it as well, but it's good at, it's good at reading Markdown. It's good at writing Markdown.
Mm-hmm.
But does it organize the Markdown for you? Does it hold it in a place where you can easily view it if you wanted to? So this is, you asked that question and I have an answer. So I had been thinking about this, and then, how would Obsidian fit into this, right? I obviously use Claude Code a ton for coding, but outside of coding tasks, I actually use Claude Desktop's co-work application quite a bit. Now, what I've thought, and the funny thing is, I was thinking about this, and then David Sparks, better known as Max Sparky, came out with a new lab, and his new lab is how he essentially is managing all of his assistant robot stuff, which is really Claude Cowork, in Obsidian. So Obsidian is where he manages, here's where all the skills are and all of my tasks and all of the pieces of my life that I want Claude Cowork to help me manage. Like you said, it's all Markdown. Claude's amazing at managing, reading Markdown is what you configure it with. It's what the skills are written in. So all of that is literally in an Obsidian vault, and it's where he, tweaks the skills, and as he's training it, etc. I think this is great. Because if you want to think about it, like, sure, okay, Claude's the brain. It's doing all of the. If you want to think about the whole second brain thing, etc., it's doing that, but it has horrible memory. It doesn't have a long-term memory. So in this case, Obsidian is kind of like the neocortex of a brain, where all of the long-term memory that you care about, and of the things that you don't want to clog up Claude's context with all the time, it's in Obsidian, and you can easily go and work with it within Obsidian and manage it, and it's a comfortable environment. It's a great Markdown editor. So I think that's probably a good case of how I'm probably going to get back into using Obsidian more. I still use it. I still open it daily. I would occasionally put in notes. I would occasionally use my plugin where I would capture something from the web to save it into Obsidian, but I haven't spent a ton of time with it, and that's probably where I'm going to get a bit more active into getting back into Obsidian. And I gave David a bit more money and signed up for his lab on how to build this. The reality of it is I could absolutely go and build it without it, but he's already done a ton of work, and I'll just take it and run with it. And it's pretty interesting. It's also, I want to see how somebody who doesn't have a strong programming background, like how they were thinking about building out tools with this. So I'm excited about kind of learning what he did there.
I want to touch on that a little bit, but first I want to do one small correction, and that is Claude does have memory.
Okay.
It has its own memory.md files that it's writing to .claude in your home directory.
Yeah.
And we learned from a certain source code leak that it also does auto dreaming, where it will like prune those memory files to be what's relevant, get rid of things that are that were timely and things like that. So it does do that, but it's not very well curated, and you probably don't have to think about it as memory because it's not going to be what you want. It's what it wants. Yeah,
it's the memory that it feels it needs to help do what you want it to do, right?
Yeah.
And what I meant was more of the memories that you want it to have, that you clearly you were explicitly saying these are the things, these are the tasks, these may be outputs from the things I asked you to do that go into here that then later feed into, you building out my daily briefing or whatever it is you're doing. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying. And I did not realize how much was in the .claude folder until I messed up, and for some reason was trying to check it all into Get, and I saw all of the .memory files in there, etc. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. I said I wanted to follow up with something. What was that? I totally forgot already.
It was after the Obsidian discussion about what we just talked about, where using Obsidian as kind of the memory of for the brain. But maybe it was what you just
No,
said.
it was like 2 minutes ago. I've already.
Uh,
I'm
well,
so AI smooth brained now that
that anything in memory, you just let it all go.
yeah, I don't have granola running, or I could have asked what did I say I'd follow up on?
That's another great tool. I there's so much in granola, and then like I try to do it weekly, but sometimes I have to do it every other bi-weekly, where I'll just essentially go into Claude. I have hooked up to the MCP, and I'm like, hey, I need you to go tell me what did I agree to do over the
Yeah.
past couple of weeks, and it does a pretty good job of pulling things out. It
Yeah.
also does a good job of telling me what other people agreed to do. So I love that. It keeps me at least where I may zone out, because it's just how my brain works, and then I can come back to it and go, okay, I really need you to tell me what's going on here.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, I forgot what it was that I wanted to ask you about. But that's okay. Have you used their CLI at all?
Which one?
Obsidian's.
Actually, I have not.
I just set it up because of my ZSHRC setup. My ZSH setup, it didn't set it up correctly automatically, so I had to kind of fix it myself, which is fine. But Capano, or the CEO of Obsidian, has a number of skills too that you can give to Claude. So then it just knows how to work with the CLI and how to reference things from there. And I kind of did some manual, how can I read this file? How can I write to this file? And I love the idea of daily notes, like being able to let Claude like automatically update my daily note with like, this is what I did today. And that's the problem. If I have to do it, I won't do it.
Right.
So if it can do it, and you can now like schedule things, especially in like Cowork, you can just schedule it to like look at all of your conversations for the day and write to the daily file. The one thing that I ran into though is I just I don't use the daily notes plugin. I use a third-party one, which is also by a developer at Obsidian, called Periodic Notes, because it not only gives you daily notes, it gives you weekly, quarterly, monthly, whatever you want. And it doesn't work with that, so I didn't know what a daily note was for.
Correct. I used that Periodic Notes plugin for quite a while.
Yeah.
The last time I looked at it, it has not been updated in forever.
Oh man.
And it also has a bug in how it builds out quarterly notes that somebody complained about in my plugin, because I was depending on it. It will essentially, the regex for how it checks to see if it's a valid query or folder structure for quarterly works, but then when it's actually building it out, I can't remember the details. It was probably a year or two ago, but it wasn't great. But yeah, no, I wish the built-in daily notes was more of a periodic, where it's ported weekly and monthly, because I think that's super beneficial, especially for building out skills, because I like to archive things, and I do like to say, okay, I want a weekly folder with my daily notes and a weekly note that kind of pulls all the values out of the daily that either I needed to review or etc. into a weekly note. So yeah, it's very beneficial.
Yeah. I don't know. I might give it a try for things like that, like Obsidian as a repository for this automated logging of my life and my work. Because like if I could automate away and just like at review time, like performance review time, be like, what did I do that was cool that I could really highlight? And it like already having it, and I did nothing to to facilitate that. Like I just focus on the work. I don't have to focus on the minutia around it to
Right.
prove that I did the work. That's perfect.
Yep.
And so I should be doing that. Now it's just like, where do I find the time, the minutes that it'll take to set this up?
Right.
I could also have OpenClaw do it maybe. But I don't know. I've been letting mine languish a little bit. I just don't.
It takes, I mean, it's not a one and done type of thing. It takes a lot of work and ongoing training and etc. But yeah, there's definitely you put effort in up front, and then hopefully the payoff is, makes it worth it for the long haul.
Yeah. All right. Well, some real time updates, John. You're sick. Chris is sick. Chris isn't going to make it.
Okay.
He just texted me. So we're just going to carry on. That's okay.
Sounds good.
We'll catch up with him another time and hope he feels better. But yeah, so there was some news that we were going to talk about. And I think the biggest news of the week is definitely that Claude Code was hacked by themselves.
Correct.
And they leaked their own source code via source maps. And it's unclear how exactly that happened. There is an open issue, or there was an open issue on Bun about this exact problem. I did see that maybe that wasn't the case, but I also saw like a Fireship video that blamed that. So
I heard it was human error, but I didn't do a lot of research on it.
Yeah. Well, regardless, it happened. They leaked that, and now everyone can read the source code. And I think I have to check. I think that like Codex is open source, and so is open code, obviously.
It's I haven't put a lot of thought into this, but I'm trying. It doesn't immediately. Nothing comes to mind immediately where this is completely damaging to Anthropic, right? Because it's a tool that, yes, makes what they provide better.
Yeah.
But so what? Like the core of what they provide is not Claude Code. It's what Claude Code talks to. Mm-hmm. It's just a wrapper around making how you talk to their model easier, right? So I would imagine they're not. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it would be a huge. Obviously, they didn't want it open. They didn't want the source out there because they didn't open source it. But
yeah,
maybe because they don't have. Maybe it's exposing internal things that they would prefer have been managed. The announcement of it had been managed, right? That's one benefit of it being closed source, is they could feature flag things, have things in there to where people wouldn't have any clue as to what was coming down the, oh, we can release this, it's gonna be a surprise.
Yeah, things like that. The Auto Dream thing, they have that buddy that is like a Tamagotchi thing that lives in your Claude Code. That was supposed to be an April Fool's Day thing, and it leaked a day early with this. And there was a number of other things I did see in there, and I might have tried it with like, there's an environment variable you can set that to make it think you're an Anthropic employee, and then it might do things differently. I didn't dig into what it would do differently. To be honest, I haven't looked at the code like too much. But I think the best tweet that I saw on it was David Khorshid on his tweet says, ironically, this is probably the first time that actual humans are carefully and thoroughly reviewing Claude's code base.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Amazing. And from the reports, like it's got vibe coded crap, which is to be expected. But I think that's like a good thing, right? Like, look at this. This is like arguably one of the most important pieces of software of like this generation.
Yeah. And
it's vibe coded crap that no humans look at. And I think that that's super important and definitely telling where this future is going.
Yeah, this is what I had a conversation in with one of my teams, because we were discussing, hey, code reviews are becoming the bottleneck, right? It's the same discussion that everybody's having.
Mm-hmm.
AI is involved. We're producing things way faster than we did before, and now it's just takes a while to get through code review, because while the team uses AI to do code reviews, they're still pretty diligent in doing human reviews, and that makes total sense in the code base because, quite frankly, the code base was started as human written, right? And they take a lot of care into what they want to produce, etc. I threw out there, maybe, you should start looking at the paradigm of doing code reviews on the plan
Mm-hmm.
before you implement it, assuming it's not a reactionary slash bug fix type thing where you're just doing stuff. It's true feature work. You worked with Claude or whatever your tool you're using to really figure out what it is, how you're going to build it,
Yeah.
then run that through a review. They're totally down for that. And I was like, and then then you have more trust in what's actually going to be produced, and maybe you don't want to have humans reviewing all the code. Start people freaked out, right? Totally get it. And
Yeah.
and somebody was like, yeah, but like what? It's not even software engineering anymore. And I'm like, whoa, like you're confusing things.
Mm-hmm. I disagree with
Software
that.
engineering is not code writing.
Mm-hmm.
Software engineering is all the stuff around code writing, and code writing is a function of software engineering.
Mm-hmm.
And I use Claude as an example where the Claude code repository is not code that's written by humans. No human writes it, or at least according to how they're pitching it, and that's how it works. And I get it. It can be hard to do that, make that switch from a code base that was written by humans, and now it's not. Now Claude or whatever tool they're using is writing in this code base. But I think there's going to be a fight and a struggle for people to get away from. Yeah, but I want the code to be clean, and I want it to look good, and I want it to use all the idioms that I think it should use. And there are cases I totally agree on the idioms piece, right? It should
Yeah.
try and follow idioms of the framework or the language that you're using. But at the end of the day, if the outcome is secure, if the outcome is what you wanted, and the outcome performs the way you want it to, maybe there's some other things I'm not thinking of, but if those three things are there, I don't care what the code looks like.
100%.
I don't care if it used a class structure that I wouldn't have used. Don't care. And part, I started thinking about this a little more. It used to be talked about as a art form, not really. Some people who didn't code, oh, it's kind of like art. I know how you guys feel about it. How you all feel about it, and it's like, yeah, but is it? It's not. Like it's you want to be thoughtful, and you want to write. Generally, you want it to be thoughtful, and you want it to write clean code because that was how you were going to get a more likely outcome of those three things I just said.
Mhm.
It's secure, it performs properly, and it does what you expected it to do.
Yeah.
So
I think there's this false equivalency that it has to be good because I might have to maintain it, right?
right.
And I think that in this world, there's no reality where you're not going to maintain it without AI as at least a buddy helping you.
Yeah.
And the code can be in literally any state, and it can come help you. And it can, like, refactors are like trending towards zero. Like the cost of doing a refactor on
Right.
things is trending down. Like it's so easy to just like pick the wrong way and go. And like that's a big thing that I think we need to learn from code bases like Claude, where Codex I think is a perfect example. They've talked about how they shipped it in like 10 days. What's another thing that famously shipped in 10 days? JavaScript, right?
Yeah.
Now freaking Cowork, that's amazing, right?
Yeah.
And the way I don't know this for sure, but and we might have talked about this before, but like the way that it came about was that they didn't sit down in planning meetings and like have the whole engineering team figure out, and product managers and things figuring out what to do. They just went out and built every possibility that they could think of, and then strung them together to become Cowork.
Right.
And dropped things that didn't make sense, dropped things that didn't work right, fixed things, like improved it. Like that is, at least right now, with the cost of AI, what it is, it's cheaper to do that than to sit everybody down in meetings and do this archaic sprint-based waterfall. That's the new waterfall now. Just go do it and come back, and then see what works and ship.
Yep.
But it's also like I think that it's interesting thinking that, I don't know. I think that you just have that fear that it's going to write slop code that I'm going to have to maintain, and there's like a lack of trust in being able to um, understand that you can just use the tools to maintain it too.
Right. Yeah. I can, um, the period we're in, I can have some empathy for some people having those feelings, but
Sure,
mostly because,
it feels like an
um,
attack on your profession and on
yeah,
your
that,
livelihood, and
but there's also like it's not set in stone right now
yeah.
that access to these AI models will remain the way it is, right?
Oh, we'll
I
talk about
think,
that.
yeah, I think that I personally think that things will figure out a way to make this successful and
Mhm.
affordable, and that it will continue to move forward, right? But that may not be true.
Yeah.
It may be that things turn, upside down. People, investors get annoyed with it because they're not seeing the returns, because quite frankly, a lot of these companies are blowing through money, to essentially subsidize everything that we're doing.
Mhm.
And either at some point it will be either the model will figure it out and it will become they will make money because it becomes affordable to run, or it becomes so expensive that only certain things will use it, right? And in those cases, okay, maybe there is maybe these people are correct to have a little bit of anxiety about it, because maybe their tool isn't that important anymore, and they aren't allowed to have the LLM manage it. So now they're like, "Oh my god, the
Yeah.
company still wants it, company still needs it, but we're not going to give you the money to go blow through to get the tools." And but I'm less concerned with that at this point. Now I do still, while I have not, and these are all, mostly on side projects. I don't go look at the code, but I do talk to the bot about, hey, you just updated. I asked you to change something that seems innocuous, and you updated 4 or 5 places. Why?
Mhm.
Oh, well, of course,
You're
I'm
absolutely
always
right.
absolutely right. Oh, let me go and consolidate that, and abstract that into a module or a function or whatever. So you do need to be diligent in that matter, I
Yeah.
think, to try and, you know, keep it simple, or
Mhm.
whatever all the rules
That's where
are that you
your
learn,
skills and
right?
experience still matter a
Exactly.
lot.
That's why I've said that this tool's not gonna replace me. It's just gonna make me be able to, 1, do things I would not have done before because I just don't have the time to go do something,
Mhm.
and I can kind of backseat drive. I can tell it to go do something, check in. "No, I don't like what you did here. I need you to change X, Y, and Z," and then let it go off, and it's great.
Mhm. For
Yeah,
sure.
I've built I've built at least one thing that I never would have, and I say built. I took some existing code, and then I had Claude Go manipulate it to add features and rewrite it into TypeScript. Oh my goodness, Nick, I rewrote something in TypeScript instead of JavaScript. Um, but yeah, I mean, I have Sonos systems. There was an existing, Stream Deck plugin that was open source, and forked the repository and added all the features that I wanted because it didn't work exactly the way I wanted, and now I use it. I love it.
Mhm.
And every now and then something doesn't work, and I just tell Claude, "Hey, here's the weirdness that happened." And it literally, it connects to the Sonos, it pulls what it's sending on the network and figures out the problem. Not something that I would do because again, this isn't that important to me, and I'm not gonna go waste my time on it, but I'm happy to have it waste this time on it. So,
For sure. Just today, there's been something on my work machine that's stealing focus. I can't figure out what it is. It just
oh, really?
like it comes and I'll be typing, and then all of a sudden I'm not typing anymore because
Yep.
Ghosty isn't focused. And I can hit Command Q and it quits something and it comes back, but I have no idea what keeps doing it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
Uh-oh.
I was like bash because like in what's currently full script to do that. I did that myself and it didn't work.
You broke
Uh,
up. So you broke up. You came in right at AppleScript. So everything
oh,
before that, you kind of were out.
I tried to make a bash script that calls AppleScript to detect what's focused.
Yep.
It did not work because it was like I was checking every second, and I thought, oh, if I just let it linger on whatever to stole focus, it should be okay. Didn't work. And then I told Claude about it, and Claude's like, oh yeah, well, we can do this at a lower level. Let's write some Swift code that can access some other API and get at it, and we'll just run a runner. And it was like, all right, I'm done. Like, it's running. Just tell me when it happens again, and I'll go check the log. And so it happened again. I asked to check the log, and it was the Logitech options.
Stupid app.
I know.
I hate that app.
Like, that's not something I would have wasted a ton of time on,
right?
And I got to the bottom of it immediately because it was so low. Like, the barrier to do it is so low that I could just like have a 2-minute conversation with Claude. Boom, it's done. It's going and doing it.
It's just like the universal control thing that I was talking about. It was like I never would have spent the time to actually fix the problem. I would have just given up. But I figured I'll just feed you the universal control logs from the console app, and you tell me what's breaking. Yeah. And it told me what's breaking, and then I could ask it, oh, well, if I did this, would it fix it? And it was like, yeah. So, and it fixed it. Again, a perfect example of pain points where, again, but maybe a year from now, it'll be too cost prohibitive for me to go, hey, I want you to fix this annoying little thing. We'll see.
I want to talk about that, but there's one other point that you made that I want to emphasize, and that is about us not being software engineers anymore.
Yeah.
Think about like he's my mom's cousin, so I don't know, like second cousin, third cousin.
Yeah, it makes you a second cousin.
I'll just call him uncle cousin. My uncle cousin, he just retired now, but he was a civil engineer working for the Army Corps, and he would like design. He did something with runways, like specifically the concrete mix of runways. Right? He's not laying concrete. He's not mixing concrete.
Right.
He is doing a whole bunch of engineering around that to make sure that it's correct. But at the end of the day, he's not building a runway.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing here. We don't need to be writing the code anymore. The engineering is the engineering of what we're building. The code is the artifact that's generated to facilitate that.
Right.
And we just have to change that mental model, which is hard because I love coding too. But I don't do it anymore.
It's funny. I think I definitely hit the age and where I was just like, I'm not completely up to date on X, Y, and Z. So now I've got to go spend time trying to get up to date on X, Y, and Z. And there are probably other things I wanted to do. So I just don't do that anymore. I'm like, I want to build this. I want it to, it's funny because, my wife and I, we volunteer at the Kansas, the Planet Comic Con. So KC Comic Con, they have a Comic Con, they have a Planet Anime. She's volunteered for this for many years. She's on a team. She's like a manager level person at when she works there, and she's always talking about the tools they use to manage volunteers, what needs to be done, what perks they should get, etc. Right? So it's like, I really wish you would build an app for this, and I always wanted to build an app for it, but time was just like not available. Dude, I'm 2 days. I've literally built an app where I have the floor plan of the convention center, and you can literally go in and drop markers and migrate around to say this is where this is, and it's just it's amazing the things you can do, and things that you wouldn't do before. I just think that's a common theme that you hear a lot of people talk about.
For sure. There's another thing I wanted to bring up. Let me show my screen again. There's this video that I just watched. It's by a channel called Corridor Crew, and they're like visual effects artists, and they talk about visual effects stuff. So it's not coding, right? It's a fun escape from that, but I like movies. I like movies with a lot of VFX, and it's cool to see how they make them, right? And in this video, this guy is talking about how he fixed green screens, and it's like specifically like, he's got long hair and like the green. I mean, we have green screens, right? You get like this halo around you. Or if you put like a clear glass of water in front of it, it's going to like reflect green in it, which is going to screw the whole thing up. And he's talking about like basically using AI to train a model to correctly fix these shots with a green screen so that it just removes all of that artifacting completely. And like, he did it with like a couple hundred things. And then he started using like, I don't know, Unreal or something to generate like the images, like the before and after, so that he had enough training data, because that was the problem. And he, fed it like thousands and thousands of examples and fixed it. And like he was showing it to the other VFX artists, like how the results of it, and all of them were just like, "This is amazing. I don't have to do this like crazy like rotoscoping anymore. I can just like have it fix all of these, and it's like doing a really good job, and it like facilitates these shots that we weren't doing before." Specifically in this channel, I know nothing about VFX, so it could be all wrong. But I just thought it was like a cool example of using these tools, but outside of code, and it's like they're solving the same problems in the same way, and they just see it as, wow, my job just got easier.
Right.
Our jobs just got easier.
Yeah.
Like they keep getting easier and easier, and so it's just cool to like take a step back, step outside of our industry, and see how it's affecting other industries like this, and like they're excited about it. This is awesome.
Yeah, it gets rid of the tedium, like the tedious parts that people don't want to do, right? I think that's where it benefits a lot. There are cases where people are using it to, and I'm not a huge fan of AI generated art and that type of stuff. So, but I think there's room for AI to help out, every industry. And honestly, I've told my team this, like, if you're still very much about I have to be in the code, etc., I don't have a problem with that. Go look at how it solved the problem. Maybe you'll learn something from it, right? And if it's doing the wrong thing, you can help write skills to push it down the right path that you think it should have used to solve the problem. So, I mean, again, it's an amazing learning tool. I've answered questions that would have taken me a whole day, if not more, in 10 minutes, because I can go pull repositories, and these are repositories that are running services that are, across multiple different servers, but it's like I can build the whole picture locally with the code and say, I'm making this request. Build me a mermaid diagram of how the requests work. And then it does it. I get a mermaid diagram. I understand how the systems talk to each other, how they depend on each other. Now I'm having this problem. Where's the fix? Is it in this service? Is it in this service? And it gives me the answer within minutes and not a day or more.
Yeah, that's great. Yes, and things are only getting better. And there is potentially, well, hang on. Before we leave this Claude Code leak, I did want to mention that I think this is also pretty interesting. This is a project called Claw Code, and it's somebody that just took the source code and like they've been DMCAing and taking down all of the copies of it. They just asked Codex, I think in this case, to rewrite the entire source code in Python. And now it's an original work, and it can stay.
Right, exactly. And
that is so interesting.
I think they're actually rewriting it in Rust now because, I wouldn't have chosen Python, but it was probably what they were. Honestly, the funny thing is I don't know if you've noticed this, but whenever Claude's doing something and it's like not related to writing code for the project, it's essentially like. I get this a lot whenever it's querying AWS to be like, oh, let me go pull the logs, or let me check this configuration. It almost always writes inline Python scripts that use the AWS Python library to query the API. So it's funny. I wonder why it likes using Python. I wonder if under the covers they're essentially like, when you do this, just write an inline Python script.
Well, Python has been the machine learning language.
Yeah, I know,
and so that's probably a big reason for it.
Is my guess. There's so much Python code out there.
Yeah, for sure. And then there's another piece or another thing that I just learned. OpenAI, they released this plugin, Codex for Claude Code, and it is a Claude Code plugin. It's pretty awesome. This like one of the best things that I love about Pi is like being able to quickly switch models. This isn't exactly that, but you can like delegate tasks to Codex from Claude Code, and you can have it do reviews and even like adversarial reviews.
Yeah.
Where it will review the code that Claude is doing, and then like you get that benefit, because honestly, I think Codex is better at reviewing code, and I trust it a lot more than Claude. And a lot of times they just go back and forth, and it's literally me like copying. Claude said this, Codex said this, and they're like, oh, they're like agreeing with each other, or they're like, I'd push back here, and like that adversarial like relationship between the two is fantastic. So if you have access to both, I would definitely install this and use it. And
Yeah, I need to check out. I haven't done much with Codex. We've obviously used in our projects, like we'll have Copilot do a review, even though I've had Claude do the review. Copilot does a pretty good job of finding things as well.
Yeah.
There is you talking about this plugin. There is a tool I want to show you. Hold on, it wanted to add an update. Let me get it up and share it real quick, and then you can show. I don't know if you've seen this. It's called. I don't even know how to. Oh my gosh, I got so many windows. It's called Maestri.
Mastra?
I don't think it's Mastra, but it's Maestri.
What are you sharing? Oh, this is the tool.
This is the tool. Sorry, I am had to mute because I'm coughing. But essentially, what it does is I'm trying to control the screen share and not the actual app, so that probably isn't going to go well. So okay, in this case, I'm gonna draw a terminal here. What do you want that terminal, or what do you want to run here? I want to run Claude Code, and I want where do you want the working directory? Let's just go put the working directory in the Git projects, just dot files for now. Excuse me, I'm gonna have to mute again.
Sure.
What happened? Did I hit the wrong thing? It gave me the terminal. It is supposed to have started Claude, which is interesting, but I wonder if this is in beta. But what you're supposed to be able to do is you can draw another one over here. Okay. Oh my gosh, I can't even control my screen. Hold on a sec. Let me make this. You're supposed to be able to draw another one over here. In this case, I'm going to do another Claude. Put it in dot files as well. Open, create. Let's see if it does the right thing. It didn't do the right thing. Well, apparently their update is just broke it. But what it does is like you can have these two know about each other by connecting them, and then you can tell this one over here, hey, that one over there, tell it to do this. I mean, it's just weird. I haven't played around with it much, but essentially they were kind of doing what you were showing, which is they'd have, oh, this is my Codex review over here, and this is Claude over here, and inside of the Claude, it would say, hey, send this to the Codex review, and it knew to essentially send it to this terminal or this running version of Codex over here, and do a review on whatever it was working on. So, and
like
it's really
Pepe Sylvia thing.
What's that?
It's like a Pepe Sylvia.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing that's interesting that I kind of like about it though is this is you really could just use it as I have this. These are all the pieces I have for this project running. The thing that kept me from using it is you can't add a browser. If I can have a browser in there, so here's my Claude CLI, here's my browser with Tidewave running, etc., all for this project, so I can easily see between them all and jump between them all. It's almost like, you can do this with window management. I get that, but I hate almost all the window management tools that are out there. I really thought this was cool. I'm probably going to play with it more. Obviously, I just updated it and it totally broke something, but It's early days, but I thought this was pretty interesting.
That looks amazing. I like the idea of it for sure.
Yeah, if it worked, but
Yeah.
obviously this is just it's just a terminal now, which is one of the options when you draw it up here is you can just be like, well, no, this is just a shell.
What's it
Uh,
called?
Maestri, Maestri.
Okay. So we can't see that in the.
Yeah, it's because you can't see my menu and it doesn't have its name in the. Trying to see what. Yeah, it's very interesting that it broke on update, but yeah, this is something to watch.
That is super cool. I'm definitely gonna play around with it, get an idea for it. But I don't know. One of the reasons I fell in love with Claude was that it met me where I'm at in the terminal.
Right, exactly. Which is one of the things I kind of liked was okay, yeah, I'm still still the terminal in there.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't played with it enough to know if there's issues with the terminal that you may run into, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
But cool tool.
super cool. So there was some other news that leaked potentially. I think leaked, and that is Mythos. Have you heard about Mythos? You've heard of Haiku, you've heard of Sonnet, you've heard of Opus,
Yeah.
and now potentially, maybe even this month, Mythos, which is like a step change improvement to Claude Opus 4.6, as good as 2 times better than it at coding tasks, which is, I mean, 4.6 is already pretty darn good.
Yeah, I know that's definitely interesting, and I wonder if this is the trend that we will continue to see, in the sense of we're not talking about is it sentient anymore, and we're talking about it's this much better at writing code.
Yes, I don't care about sentience.
Yeah, no, and it made me think of Cal Newport's had been pushing out a bunch of videos to discuss these different topics, and yeah, no, he's very much on the fence of. He talked about I don't remember the startup and the person who started the startup, but they're well known in the AI industry, and they do not believe that the transformer model is going to get us anywhere near where we need to go from an AI perspective.
Yeah, that was an Apple paper too. Like Apple researchers had that out, and like people were like, where's Apple on anything AI? Like, why should we trust them? Which I can see, but also I can totally believe it. It is just completing the word, right?
Right. Yeah, I totally agree. And but it is good at writing code, so
it is. Like, it doesn't have to be sentient to really fundamentally change how both of us work, probably forever.
Right.
So that's amazing. The one thing that like, I don't know, gives me some anxiety around this. First off, I'm going to London next week. I'm doing a workshop on skills and giving a talk, and I'm pretty excited about it. I just imagine that Mythos is going to like drop, right in the middle of that, and I'll be like, well, I was going to talk about this and it's all obsolete now. That's my biggest fear. But also, like, I think that there's been a lot of controversy around Claude right now, with specifically, like, they had a tweet about, hey, you're going to burn through your limits faster during peak hours, because they just are at the limits of how many physical GPUs they have, which makes sense. They are growing too fast, and there's not enough GPUs in the world to support everything we want to do. But also, like, there's like potentially like caching issues that really cause people to blast through their limits, like, even faster than that. And I think that, like, this whole idea of limits and how, like, you paid for something and now whatever you're paying for is less for the same product, is interesting. Like, it's all nebulous, right? You don't know how many tokens you get in that limit, in that window. I think that the biggest thing that I'm going to be watching for with Mythos, if and when it comes out, is like, is this gonna be where the subsidized tokens start dying? and we are starting to pay a real price. And that whole thing that I was talking about a couple minutes ago, where it's like, let's just build. We have 5 ideas. Let's build all 5 ideas and see what sticks.
Yeah.
The economics of that change if the tokens get significantly more expensive. And so that will be interesting, but maybe it'll drive the cost of like Opus down to basically nothing. So you can just give the really challenging stuff like, hey, we built all these 5 things, string them together with Mythos. Maybe that's what you do.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see where that goes and how it goes. But like, I do start thinking about the economics of this because a lot of people are on the let's spend forever and let's just spend. And is that going to be viable as the price of these tokens go up and up and up?
It won't.
Yeah. But we're all going to be hooked on this drug, John.
Yeah, no, I totally. And that this was a week or two ago. The CEO of NVIDIA was talking about how if he had a $500,000 engineer, and he's talking to him, and they weren't using like some ridiculous amount of money cost in tokens, he's gonna be like, that's a problem. I don't know what's going on. And one of the funniest responses to it I saw was, drug dealer getting mad that you're not using the drugs, right? So there's a little bit of that. I mean, the way you fix this, Nick, is you go and you buy 2 top of the line Mac Studios, $20,000 a piece, and you hook them together with Thunderbolt 5 cable, and you just run Kimmy locally, and then you can do whatever you want, right?
Gemma 4, like Skib is saying.
There you go.
Like the open source models are getting better. That's
right.
True.
I mean, that was still $40,000 worth of hardware sitting on your desk, but yeah, I mean, my there will be a point where models will be good enough and small enough that people will be able to do this more locally. But again, this comes back to how do these current companies make money to continue to get to the point where they build those, right? It's a race to figure out either it becomes economically viable or open source models start taking over. It's going to be interesting over the next year or two. So that's why like I said earlier, I can understand people being have anxiety for about, well, am I eventually going to have to maintain this code, right?
For sure. Yeah.
So
I just brought up this tool that I'm running on my machine. This is a M1 Ultra Max Studio, 128 gigs of RAM, and this tool is called LLM Fit. You can just get it from Homebrew. And all it does is just analyzes your machine and tells you what the best model to run on your machine is in order. And so for me, it looks like it's Qwen 3 Coder. And you can see like what's it for? What's the use case? So coding models, the best one is going to be that one. The next Viridian Qwen 3 Coder. And then there's, all of the Qwen models basically. And then Llama 4 down here. I don't see Gemma in here. I don't know anything about open source models right now. So I just downloaded and installed this tool, and it's something I'd like to play around with some more and just see. I have tried local models with my OpenClaw, and it really sucked. But I haven't tried any of these models. So maybe I need to step it up and use these and see. And then maybe I can get I'm like not invested in my OpenClaw because it costs like $200 a month if I want to, even running Sonnet, like it's
that's where I think that's why I need to look to make sure I'm not spending money. I'm pretty sure I'm not, because it doesn't do anything.
Mine is on once it runs out of tokens, it won't auto reload. I have to go manually do it. So at least I just eat the cost, and I'm like, okay, I will let it go until it's out and then continue from there.
Yeah, I mean, one of your biggest problems is you're on an M1 Mac Studio. That's just a pile of crap, Nick. At this point,
I know it really is. Like an M5 Pro is probably.
Yeah, I'm on this. I have a M1 Ultra that I love, but the work machine I have is a M5 Max, right? So it's just like.
How much RAM do you have?
48.
That's going to be the limiting factor. For you.
I might have more RAM on my Mac Studio, but
I'd still be curious what your LLM Fit is. So maybe we'll talk about that later. You don't have to install it now. But that's super interesting. I do want to try the local models more and just see. Just
I
in
haven't.
general.
I was playing around with them, probably over a year ago, trying to build out some rag stuff with obsidian, etc. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was just they weren't great, and I just kind of fell out of it.
Yeah.
But there will be a point where they're probably viable for things. Maybe not your most important projects. Like again, maybe most important projects are where companies are spending the money, and then the side things, it's like just we have a local. Either we have a open source model in Bedrock that's cheaper, it's still not free because you're paying for AWS resources,
Mm-hmm.
or we run it locally. But
Yeah, and
yeah,
there's definitely ways to like cheapen out on things, right? Like not every tool even needs Sonnet. Like
yeah,
you could use like a really cheap local model or like I mean a really crappy local model for most things and it's going to be able to do it pretty well. As long as it can like understand the tool calls and things like that.
yeah.
Like that could probably get you pretty darn far. And then you like reserve like the, I need a lot of reasoning and a lot of power on this specific tool, so I just need to switch. And mostly I'm just lazy and don't want to have to think about that. I just want to use whatever I can, like the best one possible.
One other thing that I've seen the news but I haven't dug into it and played a ton of attention
Yeah.
is essentially Google did something to where it reduced the amount of memory size required for
Oh
some of
yeah.
these models. Most of the news I was seeing, it was attached to how memory prices are essentially crashing, but I don't know how true any of this is. I didn't go and look at where the sources were, etc. But
Yeah.
I mean, again, that's another thing. If they can get these models to where the memory requirement is a lot lower than these MacBook Pros or Mac Studios with 64 gigabytes of RAM is viable, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
we'll see.
We will see. Anything else going on that you want to talk about this week?
I don't think so. I was going to say that we probably should start wrapping it up because I'm getting to where I'm going to cough every 5 seconds, and I took some medicine, and I think I'm going to pass out soon.
Yeah. Well, we
Which
better let you go
is
pass
great.
out. Again, Chris was also sick, so we'll catch up with him another time. And yeah, I think next week I'm going to be in London, so we'll maybe skip a week and then
Yep.
come back.
Yeah, sounds good to me, man.
Cool. All right. Well, great catching up with you, John, and I'll catch
Dude.
you next time.
Yep. Later.
See ya.
Bye.